Okay, guys, if you're choosing this option, this is me leading you through the PowerPoint. It's because either you can open PowerPoint on your computer, which can happen if you don't have the program, or B, you would like a little more help. So I am going to go through this slideshow with you. I've already done the directions, so we won't spend a lot of time on that, but please get your paper ready. You should have 10 squares to write in. And we are going to start off with square number 1. And remember, you know it's square number 1 because there is a 1 up at the top. When you get done with square number 1, this is showing you that you are going to have Thomas Jefferson and Louisiana Territory written somehow in your explanation. And I know that the next slide also goes with square number 1, and you're going to end up with Louisiana Purchase. So I will put the information up here on the screen, and this is available to you, right? And so you can read this information and then put pictures and, a couple, 3 sentences that summarizes this information and then the information on the next slide. So you can, when I get done talking here, pause the video and get the information from box number 1, for box number 1 from this slide, but I also know that the next slide is also going to be about box number 1. So I will also show it, and you can pause the video there. So now would be a good time to pause and work on this first square. Okay, so now you've unpaused, and now we will look at the second slide of the slideshow. So here is some more information about the Louisiana Purchase, and remember that you will add this, because we're still on box number 1, add this to box number 1, and this also is a place where you could write the words Louisiana Purchase in your explanation. And then that will take care of that requirement of getting all 16 of these vocabulary words in your slideshow. And now would be a good time to pause. Okay, now you're back, and let's look. Now we're moving on to the second pane or square in your cartoon, right? And this is going to be about Lewis and Clark. So here we go. Here is the information. These are the goals that Jefferson gave them. They're really trying to find that Northwest Passage. It doesn't exist, but they don't know that. So let me see if I can move myself over a little bit. Here we go. So Jefferson had wanted to explore anyway, but having the purchase made it, a lot better, a lot bigger reason for him to do that exploration. Okay. And here's a picture of Lewis and Clark, and it gives a little bit of explanation about them. Remember, you can always back the video up if you've missed something. Okay, and you're back. All right, box 3 is about the Corps of Discovery. It looks like corpse, but this is like military corps, the Marine Corps. So the Corps of Discovery is the name of the group of guys and Sacagawea that went on this trip. And here are some of the major people in this picture down below. And here is the explanation. So now would be a great time to pause and look at this info. Okay, and now you're back, and the next slide is still about square number 3. And it's giving you information, more information that you can include. All right, I'm forgetting to say pause. I apologize about that. Maybe I'll just go through it with sort of pause. I'll just naturally pause my voice, and when you'll know that it's time for you can pause the film if you want. Okay, so that's a cool picture. That's what a keelboat looked like. Okay, so in box number 4, this is traveling up the Missouri. Now, kids always get this confused and they say the Mississippi, but the Mississippi runs north and south, and nobody would have needed to explore it by this point in U.S. history because they were using it for shipping and people lived all along it. So nothing mysterious about the Mississippi at this point. So it's the Missouri River that we're talking about, and they're going to be traveling along that Missouri River. And here is the information that you get for box 4. Okay, this is still box 4. And this is well, almost the entire journey was peaceful, but in this situation, there was a skirmish. All right, so box number 5 is about their winter camp where they stayed with the Mandan tribe. And here is some information about that. Okay, I do hope you're remembering that when these words are in yellow and highlighted, that you should be including those on your cartoon. Okay, still in box 5. All right, and this is about Sacagawea, or some people pronounce it Sacagawea, and I mean, there's argument about it. The people who say Sacagawea are certain that that's right. But of course, not being there and not having recordings of people saying her name, I think it's up for debate. All right, so box number 6 is one of the many times that Sacagawea was incredibly helpful to the Corps of Discovery. She ends up saving a lot of the scientific work that had been done. Clark's journals and drawings and all of that were just so valuable. And he had kept meticulous records, and so to have lost all of that would have been a big loss. But she was able to get into the water and save them before they float away. And then this is the biggest story coincidence, I think. So the expedition needed horses, and they were having a hard time negotiating for those, but Sacagawea was able to speak Shoshone because she had been kidnapped as a young girl and taken away from the Shoshone. And so when she starts negotiating, she realizes that she is actually negotiating with her brother. I mean, the odds of that happening in that whole vast area, it's just amazing. Sorry. So if not for Sacagawea being able to negotiate with Kamehameha, the Corps probably would have had to turn around and go back because they really needed horses. All right, so this box is called "Oh the Joy" because I think it's Clark writes in his journal, "Ocean in view, oh the joy," because that had been their goal, to make it to the Pacific Ocean. And you need to know that, of course, ships had been sailing up and down the Pacific Ocean for years at this point, over 200 years, but